Hey guys, hope you're alright. Today I'm in the studio recording my new training course, so I thought I'd leave a little message to get the YouTube fired up again. One thing that I'd like to announce is that video tutorials are coming back to SurrealPSD. I haven't been able to do it over the past year because I live in a ghetto part of the UK where drunk people shout at each other all the time. So that's the reason why we haven't had any video tutorials this year. But I hope to get that resolved soon, either by moving or whatever happens. Video tutorials are definitely coming back. It's a really big part of what I want to do with the website, so I look forward to bringing them out. The next thing I wanted to do, basically, because we have a large number of new followers and readers, is give a basic overview of SurrealPSD, what it is, what it's about, how it started, who I am, things like that. Boring stuff, but some people may want to know it. So first off, SurrealPSD is a website especially for digital artists and the photo manipulation community, so people that use Photoshop as a fine art tool. In a nutshell, it's Photoshop tutorials for digital artists, but we also do a lot of art features and focusing on the photo manipulation as an art form, because I don't think anybody else has truly studied photo manipulation in depth like it deserves. So it's a fresh movement, but it's something that I'm really interested in, passionate even, and I want to analyse it in depth. Who's doing the most interesting work? What's out there? The trends, influences, new techniques, all different kinds of things that we want to explore with the site. Okay, that's me. My name's Dean. I go by the name of Conspiracy Online, Cons for short. I look like a hooligan, but I can assure you that I'm actually a nerd. Long time art fan since year zero, and since the age of 14 I got into, well, graphic design, if you can call it that, and digital art by designing event flyers and posters for drum and bass events and raves. So there's an early one. That's the kind of thing that I used to do. So this was prior to really using the software as a fine art tool. So that's kind of the introduction which got me through to that point. SurrealPSD, how did it start? Well, at university I was helping quite a lot of people with their Photoshop work, digital imaging, stuff like that. And it was at that point that I became interested in different learning systems. The traditional method was to map out every single element, function, tool, parameter, dialog box, you name it, and explain it in depth. I personally feel that that is the most counterproductive way to learn a complex bit of software. As things progressed, I realised that I could whittle down the core functions or tools that were predominantly used within the software, and if I instructed somebody to only focus on those tools at the beginning, they could make 5 years worth of progression in a couple of months. It's amazing stuff. As I had done further research into these learning systems, I learned something about Pareto's principle, or the 80-20 law, where 80% of the results will come from 20% of the effort. Or to break it down into Photoshop terms, we will use 20% of the tools 80% of the time. So when I was designing new ways of instructing people Photoshop, I realised if I taught the most important 20% of the software first, then the user can fill in the gaps themselves and make real fast progress. Fortunately, I had done well at university and I was invited to lecture on a number of modules across 2 different campuses, and I finally got the opportunity to put this into practice. So with the first years and the second years that I worked with, I took the Pareto principle, the 20% of the software that we use 80% of the time, and use that as the core foundation of the digital imaging courses that I taught. So I called these the core skills. And after working with these students, and I've been doing it for a couple of years now, I realised this is a really great system. So that's the logic and the theory behind SurrealPSD. Obviously, we do go a lot more in depth into a lot of different things, but that's the foundation, and that will make up the foundation of the new training system I'm working on, which focuses on those principles. So that's it. Just a shout out from me to get the old YouTube going again. Like I said before, in a spammy way. Subscribe, keep up to date. If you're interested in the training system, please go on to the main website, SurrealPSD.com, and put your email in the top right, and we'll keep you up to date on that. Okay guys, have a good one, happy editing, and I'll see you later.